Good evening. Phil Lindemann, Krystal, 93 News. August was the biggest month of summer for the local real estate market, selling over $110 million worth of property. That is ahead of June by $21 million, ahead of July by $51 million. But that's still not enough to keep pace with last year's record market, when all 3 months of summer sold over $130 million each. Average home price is falling now too, $1.3 million countywide last month, nearly $100,000 cheaper than the same time last year. 3 men earned criminal mischief charges last week for 3 separate incidents. 2 of them came with a flurry of additional charges, including domestic violence and child abuse. Both of those men were arrested on scene. 2 other people, a man and a woman, were cited for leaving the scene of car wrecks in Dillon and Silverthorne. One hit a parked car. It was a packed house at the Riverwalk today for opening day of the Mountain Towns 2030 Climate Summit. Climate scientist Dr. Michael Mann talked about the need for immediate policy change, showing countless headlines from wildfires, floods, and heat waves across the globe.
The crisis is now playing out in real time. All we have to do is use our eyes, watch our television screens to see it happening. And
in the audience were ski resort executives, ski town mayors, and policy shapers. The exact people, he says, who can lead decarbonization.
The obstacles that exist today aren't technological, they are political. What we need to do is to scale up renewable energy, wind, solar, geothermal, energy conservation measures, smart grid technology. We have the means to solve this problem now.
But Mann had another message. If you think your officials and even your media are failing, look to recent pushback in Australia.
Rupert Murdoch's media empire has just inundated Australia with misinformation and disinformation on climate for years, and yet they've proven resistant to that. They voted now for climate-forward government. So we can look at them as an example, for how we here in the United States, we can do that too.
Jesse Burley, sustainability manager for the town of Breck, says the climate conversation right now is littered with greenwashing.
I don't want to point the finger at anybody in particular, but sometimes you see hospitality as one that's like, hey, we don't wash our towels every time. But there's opportunities for hospitality groups to take even bigger leaps.
Burley and Mann are not telling ski town tourists to stop traveling just to cut emissions, but they are telling local governments to make it easier for people to make a difference through public transportation and even plastic bag bans.
Sometimes it might be at the expense of business. Sometimes it might be at the expense of your comfort and preferences. But at some point, we're all going to have to give up a little bit of something in order to make progress.
The biggest open event at Mountain Towns 2030 is a talk with National Geographic filmmaker Pete McBride. Tomorrow at the Riverwalk, McBride shares photos and stories from Chasing Water. This new documentary follows the Colorado River from its shrinking reservoirs in Arizona and Nevada up to its changing snowpack here in our own backyard. That talk is tomorrow, 6 p.m. at the Riverwalk. Get tickets at breckcreate.org. Coming to Beaver Run this Thursday is the Oktoberfest Brewmaster dinner with a Colorado slant. Todd Tebow of Breckenridge Brewery.
This is Breckenridge Oktoberfest. I absolutely love that the 2 Breckenridge breweries are going to be the ones that have beer. Really looking forward to being part of that.
Joining Breck Brewery is Jason Ford from Broken Compass.
Yes, it's Oktoberfest, a traditional German-style Oktoberfest, but certainly when it comes to the beer side, we have a Colorado slant, which, why wouldn't you?
Tickets are still available for the Brewmaster dinner on Thursday night at gobreck.com. Breck Brewery is pouring the Autumn Ale. Broken Compass is bringing the Hefeweizen and Schwartz beer. There will also be a cider from Talbot's of Palisade. Starting Friday is the Oktoberfest proper, back on Main Street Breck after 2 years off. Festivities open 2 p.m. Friday with beer, food, and live music. They continue Saturday, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., and again Sunday, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Entry is free. Beer and food are for sale. Volunteers are still needed. Local fire danger remains moderate today, with no fire restrictions here in Summit. In sports, the Rockies play the Giants tonight at 6:40. And in local sports, brought to you by Red Mountain Autos at their new location on Airport Road, Summit High Boys Soccer is playing Battle Mountain in Edwards today. Lady Tigers Volleyball faces Battle Mountain at home. Phil Lindemann, Krystal, 93 News.